Okay, we're live. I'm just going to give it about 1 minute before we start to let everybody trickle in. We have lots of people joining today, which I'm so excited about from literally all over the world. So, if you'd like to start off by putting in your city or where you're joining from, we would love to know. And as I said, we'll get started into the presentation in about another minute or so. Oh my gosh, we already have 4 different countries. Hey, so cool. Vegas, California. Amazing. I'm in Toronto. I'm in Canada. I have Jake, who's our customer support. He's in Toronto as well. Claire in the live chats from Fresno, California. And then we have Mariana, who's in Brazil. So we're also all over the world. Costa Rica, Australia, every single time zone. Well, good morning or good evening. We're going to get started now. Thank you so much for joining our presentations webinar. If you haven't watched these before or chatted to us in a demo, my name's Lexi. Lovely to meet all of you. I'm going to be walking you through our new presentation tool that has just landed in Programa a couple of weeks ago. So this webinar is an introduction to what it is, why we built it the way that we did, and how you can get started creating your very own presentation. So, diving in, I'm sure you all have a certain version of this story, which I like to call the presentation tax. So, when you're finishing a schedule in Programa and then you have to pull everything into your presentation documents, whether that's Canva or InDesign or PowerPoint, wherever you are typically pulling through all of those visual components. So, say I'm specifying everything here. I'm even manually putting in all of my document codes, which then I'm pulling into Canva. I'm trying to make this look pretty and nice. And I'm editing the text. I'm even maybe doing all of my detailed drawing sets and having to pull that in from SketchUp or Revit, whatever 2D, 3D files you're using. And then maybe I'm pulling in all of my materials again, manually into a static document, and to even go as far as pinning products, or in this case, screenshotting products from either my previous presentations or from my product selections, and then also manually labeling all of my document codes into my presentation just to get that visual component all together. So, like I said, I'm sure all of you have felt my pain in some way or another, by having to pull all of these fragmented documents together. Everything's disconnected when you're sharing it with the builders or the trades, and yet again, it's also another subscription that you're paying for, right? So, when we were discussing with some of our Programa users and other designers, chatting to them about, what presentation tools they're using, such as InDesign, Canva, PowerPoint, etc. We really wanted to know what those main tools that they were utilizing within those tools, such as the background remover, was it custom text, skewing images, layering, etc. We really wanted to find out the nitty gritty of what they're using on a daily basis, and that's what we decided to implement right into the platform. On top of that, there was also a big discussion about how long putting together these presentations is actually taking. And on average, everybody was saying it was about 4 to 6 hours just to put together one document, which is insane when you think about it, considering you do that once, but that's not even the last time you have to recreate the same document over and over again. So it's, you know what I mean? It's a static document. Um, and with that being said, that's exactly why we built presentations to directly address that issue. Um, Whether you're presenting to a client, pulling together documentation for your builders and trades, or just looking for one less subscription on top of everything else, that hopefully we have solved your or come up with the answer for that problem. Now, what exactly is presentations? So it is our new tool where designers can create multi-page files right inside a project. So it brings live product select specifications, floor plans, renders, elevations, and all of your reference imagery to life in one connected file. And I would say that the biggest difference about anything else or any other tool out there, including the ones that I just mentioned previously, every product on every page is a live record directly from your schedule. So it does connect right to those product specifications that you spend so much time pulling into the FF&E. Now it's not just a screenshot, it's not typed copy. You're not manually having to do this, whether it's hyperlinking products in Canva, inputting the costs, again, screenshotting those pictures, pulling them over, no more of that. Which, in the sense, it means it's not just a presentation, it's an interactive specification document powered by your schedules. That also happens to look amazing. And that's exactly what we do at Programa, right? We want to give you the tools that are not only easy to use, simplified, but also give you a beautiful client-ready document in the most quick and efficient way possible. And presentations is no different to that. Now, where do we find it? Directly in your project. So nothing's moved, nothing's changed, all within your Programa project in your files. You'll just hit create file and you'll notice there's a new presentation or file type just sitting right there. And I wanted to point out, which is kind of fun, because I wanted to really emphasize how customizable you can make these presentations, because as you can see, I'm literally presenting off of it right now. So you can add your own backgrounds, your own text, fonts, etc., all within the platform, which is pretty epic. So what I'm going to go through with you today, so you'll kind of see me move through a moody concept piece into clean product selections, and then we'll go more into the technical documentation style presentations, all inside the same file using the same tools. So there isn't a point where we built 3 separate tools. We really wanted to rein in on the fact that we built one flexible tool that would be beneficial no matter what you're deciding to input into that document. So getting started, I'm going to hop right into a mood board. So typically, as we know, concept design is the first phase of the project. And so maybe it's not something overly complex, but we want something that is still visual and we're just putting forth that initial kind of look and feel for the project. Now, the nice thing about this is we can add in some grid lines. So if I wanted to actually pre-size all of my pictures and make sure it's easy to line them up, in this instance, maybe I want 5 columns, and do about a 10 mil gap, and add some margins in there. These can all be templated out as well. So, which I would definitely recommend doing. And what I'm doing is I'm just kind of pulling and sizing these pictures to be inside the grid lines. So they kind of bounce in. And you can certainly, like I said, make the templates and then duplicate this. And we do have page styles coming early next week where you'll be able to generate different page templates where you can have your logos already preset, how you want the header images to look, etc. Now, I know some things that people love about the Pinboards, myself included, is our Pinterest integration. So we have not replaced that. The Pinterest integration is very much still alive. So as an example, it works a similar way where if you see this toolbar down the bottom left here, I'm going to hit add and then choose image. So I have a couple different ways I can actually add in images into the presentation itself, Pinterest being one of them. So I'm still going to paste that board and then select a couple of concept images right onto that presentation. So now because I've already had my handy grid lines, I'm just going to move this guy down here. I'm going to pop in some mood board pics, resize. Now, I promise I won't make you watch me do an entire presentation, but I really want you to be able to see the ease of use of this. Boop, boop, boop. So if I hover over the image as well, I'm just going to grab all of them so they can move all in one solid block. And I can crop, I can skew, I can remove the background, etc. And then maybe I want to add some text. I'll call this my mood board. So it does have keyboard shortcuts on it as well. Voila, we made a nice little mood board. Now, like I said, nothing fancy, but gets the job done in a couple seconds, a couple minutes. Now, in terms of the basic functionality, I'm just going to show you the hot tips. So background remover, always a winner. And we know what background remover is for. We want to clean up the images that we're pulling in from the web. So in one easy click, it removes that for me. I'm just going to clear these grid lines too because they're driving me crazy. Then we have the skew component. So again, if I click the image, I have this skew option where I can then muck around with this rug. Because what I'm going to do next is we're going to make a room board together. So once I'm happy with that, I'm going to center it. I'm also decided that I've hated this black background, so I'm going to change the background color, which you can also do and add all of your custom branding. So we're going to make that white, a little bit easier on the eyes, and then say I want to reuse this page. I'm going to duplicate that and pop down here. Now, say we are ready to, we're kind of in the early stage of the project. So we've gone through concept design. Now we're ready to actually show the client some options of furniture or products that we've chosen, even before you've gotten into a SketchUp model, for example. So again, all I'm doing is hitting this add button and I'm going to choose image, but this time I want them right from my product library. So these are products that I've already spec'd and they're in Programa. So I can choose as many as I want. So I want this guy. I'm going to add my sofa first because I'm a bit pedantic about it. Because what you can do is lock them into place, which I love. So I'm going to flip this horizontal. Yes, I do it wrong every time, which way I want it to go. Then I'm going to right click and I'm going to lock it, but you can also use the toolbars on it. You can just lock it from the top here too. Lock. And then I'm going to go back and add all of my other product images into here. So I want this table, this guy, and my chair. Okay, so a couple of these need a background remover, so I'll just clean those up. I'm gonna resize. There we go. I'm going to add some art here. So again, I wanted to do this in real time because I actually wanted you guys to see how simple it is to use and throw together a room board in a couple of seconds. Now I'm also so funny about things being in the same place, so I want to group all this so I can center it. That didn't work. Anyways, I'm just being OCD about it. Lastly, I'm going to add in my little lamp. Perfect. Now, you can layer them, so I can bring this to the front or I can send the sofa to the back, kind of thing. Then from here, the magic really comes in. So if I had used this pin button, this is where the interactive components come into play. So whether you want to use this as maybe you haven't actually specified anything yet and you just want to share it with the clients via PDF or in the presentation tool on the client portal, you can. Or if you have some preliminary ideas of products, you'll see my schedule is actually pulled up and it has all of my products. So I can go here and pin this chair and pin my sofa of items. And if I hover over the top, you can see all of the product data and you can edit it directly from within the presentation, which is pretty amazing if you ask me. So now when I share this, the client can actually review and approve directly from the presentation. Okay, moving on, because I'm sure you don't want to sit there and watch me edit everything live on camera. So let's say we're ready to build an actual presentation, right? With the intention that we wanted to make this as customizable as possible for you. So you can change the background colors like I showed you. You can add in your own branding and studio fonts. You can upload those right into the platform. You can change all of the sizing. You can change the backgrounds, etc. So it's very intentionally designed to give you that flexibility, which previously you would have needed another software to be able to pull that off, but now it's all included in one. So let's say the progressing and we've got a plan for our concept design and we've got products in the schedule. Now watch what happens when they all come together. So I'm just going to scroll through to show you an example of what you can really build out in here so you can get super detailed with your text. I know proposals are consistently asked for, so you can build a proposal right within the platform as well. So your scope of work, any of your text, your title pages, etc. So I'm just going to keep scrolling through to give you some ideas. So this is the same mood board that we had at the beginning of the presentation as well. So this has all of my materials, but now it's actually been pinned with the proper materials that I've specified into my schedule. So now it's giving me that visual component that's super important for the clients. And I hear it all the time in demos of you guys asking, all I really need for my client is a picture and a price. And that's simple. All they want to see is a visual and how much it costs, and they want to say yes or no. You can now do that. Excellent. The best part about this, maybe it's not the best part, but pretty fantastic part is floor plans and elevation. So not only just your concept design and your schematic designs, now we can actually get into your detailed drawing sets all within the platform. So in order to pull in your plans, you can upload them directly via PDF. So you can either upload a single page PDF, but if you also upload a multi-page document, you can select which pages of the PDF you'd like to upload into the presentation. It'll just add another page at the bottom of that document. So instead of the old InDesign workflow of the icon legend, see page D13 to find your elevations or your scene renders, you can do that directly from this floor plan. So as you can see, there's these blue ticks on there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you an example of uploading an elevation. We'll just add some music. Whee! I'm going to go back to my floor plan. Where we go? One sec. There we go. Actually, you know what? I totally just confused you and confused myself. I just uploaded the elevation on top of the floor plan, which is not what I meant to do. But that is how you upload them in, if anybody's wondering. What I meant to do is show you how to pin a scene, which makes more sense, which is what I'm trying to do here. So it's still brand new to us too. Can't blame a girl. Okay, so I'm gonna add this elevation as a scene. So then it'll be pinned on top of the floor plan. So we'll go here, boop. And now, as you can see, he just popped in. So I can take this arrow and drag it. If I hover, that's my elevation. Whoops, zoom out. There we go. Directly on top of the floor plan. So you don't need all of those icon legends anymore. It's all interactive. And then if I hit pins on the right-hand side, I can see all of my scenes. So I can either click directly on the plan itself and open it up. Like so. So I can see the visual component on top of the 2D layout, or I can see them all kind of side by side here on the right and scroll through or hover over. The nice thing about that as well is that when you export this to PDF, it'll be tagged on the plan of where all of those elevations will go. So again, you don't have to manually do that of see page X for elevation on X plan. And same on the live version of it. You can actually export out the QR code for the presentation so your builders can scan this on site, similar to how you can scan your schedules and see where all of the elevations are going in the plans. Now, if you're at the point too where you want to add some renders, so maybe we have done our 3D drawing, the nice thing about it is, again, you can bring in that interactive piece where I've tagged not just product onto a room board, but it's actually on my 2D drawings or my 3D renders. So again, you have the ability to kind of decide how you want to use the interactive nature of this. So this blue dot, it's not a screenshot and it's not a typed copy. It is the product directly from your schedule. So it's the same record that's on the purchase order and the invoice. If you do edit it in your schedule, it will update here. And same if you delete it. There's not going to be any orphaned products within the presentation. They will be removed automatically if you edit it in the schedule or delete it, like I said. Alrighty. So now that we have seen some examples of what we can actually build out in the presentation, let's take a look at what it looks like when it leaves Programa. So in typical Programa fashion, of course, we love an online portal and a live updated version. So you most certainly can share this onto your client dashboard, again, via email. I'm going to send this to Jake. Because it is interactive with the schedules, again, you will have the ability to turn certain information on the products on and off when you share this presentation. It'll make more sense when I get onto the client portal and show you exactly what the client view is. Also, heavily requested, you can, in fact, export your presentations to PDF from Programa. Woohoo! One thing to note, It is international, so depending on where you are in the world, you can change your print size before you export it out, so it will size properly to everybody. Now you'll notice these two key points here is that you can export the PDF as normal. So it would just be a typical presentation like so. So this is the same thing that I just showed you, but in PDF format. This is without the pins, okay? So just renders, etc. What you can also do is export the scene pins and the product pins, which gives you that legend to show the builders exactly where you've pinned everything on the plans themselves. So that would look, sorry, something like this, where I have my floor plan and then I can see scene A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then if I go down to my renders, these are all labeled as well. So you're not having to manually kind of pin and pop where everything is interconnected. Same goes for materials. If they are pinned onto your presentation, they'll be labeled and numbered in the export. Now, client-facing view, which is the most important, that's why we're all here, is getting this information over to the clients visually. So it looks very similar to what I've been presenting off of this entire time. Now, a little bit different is if I hit all items, what you can do is actually filter by a specific section. So say they wanted to look at the lighting, I can see all of the lighting that I've specified in the presentation. And if I click it, it'll take me down to that page. So again, they can see the specific visual component, hover over that exact light that I've been searching for or wanted to review. In a quick glance, they can easily see, okay, this floor lamp is $600. I like the look of it. I can see it visually. I'm going to approve that right from the schedule. I mean, presentation. Habit to say schedule. So they can say, I love this. Boom. How good's that? I'm I'm geeking out over this present. I know I sound so cheesy sometimes when I do these webinars, but like, guys, genuinely, this product is chef's kiss. It's so good. And now, other cool things, filter by status. So if you as a designer, you're marking those items for client review, like we can do from the schedule, right? It's still triggering from that schedule. So you're still marking the products for client review right from within the schedule. But when your client filters by feedback required, they can see everything that you actually need them to look at. So again, they can just kind of scroll through the list and approve it right from there, or reject from there, or they can go down to the room board that I created and again, they approve this, rejected, etc. They can see all of that data right from the presentation. Or if you are with them in person and you want to present your documents, you can have this in presentation mode, just as I was going through with you here. So it's super functional, really dependent on the phase of the project. It's buildable, so you can either have 3 separate presentation documents depending on what phase you're in, or you could build upon one. Again, it's really up to you. So, I'm really excited to hear what you guys think, and answer all of your questions. I know that was kind of a quick overview of the tool itself. To kind of wrap it all together, I know you've heard me say it 100 times tonight, but it really is an interactive specification document powered by your schedules that closes the loop between that spec data and the way you actually present it to your clients and your builders, right? So we've covered cover pages, room mockups, plans with live product pins, scene pins, renders, client sharings, and PDF export. So we are also going to be hosting another training webinar in a couple of weeks where we'll do another deep dive on the presentation and we'll start from scratch. So we'll pull up a blank canvas and we'll go through step by step on how to build out these presentations. But I'm sure you guys are pros, you've been using other softwares before to do the exact same thing. We've just made it easier for you. So I know you'll pick it up, no problem. But of course, we're here if you have any questions, and definitely pop into that training webinar. You'll get another email about it and when that time comes. And to close it off there, I'd love to invite Jacob to the stage to do a Q&A with me. Hi,
Hey,
Jake.
Lexi. Hey, everyone. Awesome.
Right.
Thanks so much for walking us through that, Lexi.
You're most
We have
welcome.
lots of questions, so let's jump right into it. I think one
Okay,
of the
yes.
most requested ones from the chat is walking through just adding a multi-page PDF to the
Oh, yes,
presentation.
for sure. So let me go all the way to the bottom because I'll add a new page for you to make it really simple. So down the bottom here, if we hit this add button, see how there's a toolbar here? We can do add and then new page. You don't necessarily have to do that to add the PDF, but you can do add. Then if I zoom in, you can see there's a PDF button. See if I have one. I'll show you an example. I don't want anything too crazy. Let's do this. This might take a second, but basically you just choose the PDF and then it'll pull up multiple pages. See how there's all 7 pages there, and then I can select which ones I actually want to import in to the presentation, and it'll pop them down to the bottom.
Amazing. And they each pop in onto their own page, which is super easy to organize.
Yeah, exactly. Which is nice too. I mean, I've told a couple other people, say you have a template already created in Canva, you could just export it to PDF and then upload the PDF into Programa.
Yeah, super simple.
Yeah.
That's one of our questions.
Aha.
Can you import presentations from Canva or any other presentation tool into presentations?
Sorry, say that again. Can I
Can we
import?
import like a Canva presentation or what's the Microsoft one? Why am I?
Yeah, PowerPoint.
PowerPoint. Yeah, can we do
Yeah,
a PowerPoint?
you can. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Same way. Same way.
Yeah.
So it would just be adding it. I would export it from your other softwares as a PDF and then pull it in to Programa.
Perfect. Another question we have is from the presentations, can you see what's been approved or undecided?
You can if you hover over it. So if I go onto my pins here, see how it has the status. So I can see what's been approved. And then you could use the filter by status to choose what's been approved. So you can get a quick view that way. Oops. There we go. Sorry, guys, I told you I'm still getting used to it too. There, it'll give you everything that's been approved, so you could do a quick scroll. It will also always pull back into your schedules approval tab, but also in your pulse approvals, it'll pull them all to the top, so you have a quick view notification of that.
Wonderful. Another question, sort of in the same realm. Do you upload your elevations and construction documents to the schedule or Pinboard or now presentations?
I would just put it into presentations now, honestly, because I used to recommend attaching it right to your schedule, but that was a static document where I guess obviously your 2D drawings are always going to be a static document, but uploading it into your presentation is going to make it interactive with your schedule. So, yeah, that's a long-winded answer, but the short answer is yes, I'd upload it into presentations because it gives you the live shareability, but also the export option.
Wonderful. Another question we're getting a lot is scaling the image without distorting. Can we walk through scaling an image?
Yes, let me go up to these furniture pieces I was playing with. Let me unlock it. Sorry, one sec. Group, unlock. So you can scale this way, and if you hit shift, you can Like it'll stop me from pulling it too far. You also can do rotating and skewing. So it doesn't, as you can see, the quality is still pretty good, even though I'm messing around with it. Like it's not losing its resolution with me skewing it all over the place. Does that make sense? Does that answer the question?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Okay.
Amazing. Another question, can you have different presentations in the same project?
Yeah, of course. Yep.
Yeah.
So if you go to files, it's the same way you would add multiple schedules. You would just create file and have multiple presentations underneath that project umbrella.
Yeah. Awesome. Let's find another question. How do you add scenes?
Yes, I did gloss over that one. One little trick too, guys, I'll show you while we're here. See these dashes on the right-hand side? If you click that, that's how you can open up the pages and scroll down a lot quicker. So I'm going to scroll down to my floor plan here. So instead of, so we're going to do pin, and then instead of pinning a product, I'm going to pin a scene. So I'll hit scene, and then I can upload an image. So I can either upload a render or I could upload an elevation. Let's see if I have one. So now I've chosen my image and now I have this cursor. So I can just click, I chose the breakfast nook, so I can click here. It'll take a second to load, but now if I hover, that new photo's there. So I can change the arrow around to point that that's where my scene goes.
Amazing. Can multiple people work on the same presentation?
Yes, the same way as your schedules and all the other files in Programa, they're all collaborative on the cloud-based software.
Will we drop presentation templates into the studios?
Will Programa?
Yeah.
It's something we can consider. I think what I would suggest is creating your own studio template, because as much as we can create a template for you, kind of the idea of this is to give you that flexibility to put in your own branding and your own spin on it regardless. So will there be a whole template library that's similar to a Canva component? I can't speak to that at this stage, but it's certainly very easy to create your own template or pull in an old template from a different software into the platform for sure.
Awesome. Do the dots change colors when an item is approved or rejected?
Pardon me, does the dot change color?
Yeah, did the dots change color on pin products when they're approved or rejected?
No, they don't, but I love that idea. I mean, the status color changes, but the blue dot itself doesn't change. We have Zoe in the chat, so she loves the feedback.
And then is the scene, so when we pin a scene, is the scene
Mm-hmm.
also a page inside the presentation?
It can be. It can be. So for example, I've pinned it here. If you hit pins at the top right, you can see all of your scenes that have been pinned. So that's a way of pulling them into the presentation itself, but it's not necessarily a page. That being said, though, when you export it to PDF, those will become their own page. What you also could do if you want kind of a comparison, where you can see here, I have the rendered image, but then I also have the 2D elevation. I've just imported those in as two separate pages and files. So you have both options.
Awesome. And then when clients are approving within presentations, can they leave comments, and where do those comments go?
Yes, they can. So here, I'm on the client-facing side now. If say they approve this coffee table, it automatically pops up to leave a comment. So say, love this table, approve. The comments will go back to your schedule.
Awesome.
Oops. It goes here.
Beautiful.
Cool.
Within presentations, are there page numbers?
There is not page numbers. You could add your own page numbers. We are adding page styles, as I mentioned previously, which I believe you could definitely add your page numbers onto that.
They do appear in the slider, which I believe our lovely faces are blocking right now. But when you do view all of the pages together, they are numbered for you.
Yes, true. Thank you, Jake.
Let's see. Pulling up some other questions.
Claire just asked if there's approvals in presentation. Will there be a demo or video tutorial that they can share with their clients? I think that's a genius idea.
Yeah, we can definitely make that.
We can definitely make that. Yeah. Oh, Max, that's such nice feedback. So I'm just reading the chats now. Max said that he presented to his clients this week and it was an amazing experience. I'm so happy to hear.
Amazing. Can you put a comment box on an item?
Not directly. So if you click on it, yes. And when you're in the approvals component, let's see, I see if I'm on this product on a client-facing document, if I approve it, then they can comment. So they do have to hit approve or reject in order to leave a comment.
And still link back to a product and a schedule.
Yeah.
All right, let's. Yes, can we demonstrate the slide bar navigation?
Sure.
You can pop me off.
I was going to say
off screen if it helps.
Is that better?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. So on the very right-hand side here, it looks like a bunch of dashes. So if you click that, it actually opens up all of your pages here. So it's a quick way to scroll through the entire presentation. So you can either click down on these and it'll bring me to that page. And you can see there that the page numbers are numbered. And this is where you can duplicate or copy specific pages or the entire presentation into a new project.
Wonderful. And we can drag and reorder from here too.
Yes. Which is fun. You drag and drop them up.
If we change a product in the schedule that is already pinned in a presentation, will it change the pin?
Yes, it will. It's live linked to your schedule. So if you delete it from a schedule, it'll be gone from your presentation. If you edit it in the schedule, it edits in the presentation.
Perfect. We have some questions about page styles, the update that's coming soon.
Yeah, I can't speak too much to page styles just yet. That release will come out early next week. Essentially, it's similar to page styles that you'd find in InDesign. So you can create almost templates, to my understanding, where you could choose, say, a cover page and how you'd want that laid out. Say you want your brand text at the very top and your logo in the bottom right-hand corner. And maybe you want to add a specific grid view or size your images onto every single page. You could, and then label the type of pages that they are, say cover page, title page. I don't know, I'm trying to think of these off the top of my head, but it's essentially making templates in a way. But we will make sure to inform you guys with the help guide updates. for the page styles for sure.
Awesome. Is there a page limit on presentations?
No, no page limit. And I would just suggest expecting the bigger it is, the little bit longer it'll take to export out.
There's lots of questions to go through.
That's okay.
Let's see. Can you quickly run through why you'd share to the client dashboard or versus share to the web?
Yes. So similar to your schedules, publishing to the client dashboard gives your client the ability to approve and reject items. It's interactive. And it also is a place, think of it as your project dashboard. So it's where everything for the project is living in one place. And whereas publish to web is just a singular link for that presentation. So it's pretty much just a read-only view. That makes sense. It's not connected to anything else.
Yeah. And can you show us how to get a QR code for the presentation?
It comes out when you export it. So if you do 3 dots, export as PDF, you can include your product pins and just export that. It'll email you a link and it'll be on the last page of that export.
And if we want to do a QR code, like publish to the web QR code, we can do that as well.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I misunderstood. And yes, this third button there that looks like a 4 square, that's your QR code.
Perfect. Awesome. And can we do a demo on cropping of an image to see how that works in presentations?
For sure. So I'm going to go back to my handy. So let's add in a new one for fun. Pull in pictures from my image library. So it's just the crop tool in the middle. And then you can drag it up or down. You can do side to side or corner to corner.
Awesome. Can you overlay a logo or a photo on top of another image?
Yes, you can. So even this lamp, I can do bring to front and lay it over top. If you want to bring your logo in, same idea. Also, another hot tip, if you've never done this before, in the image library, you can tag images with text, so then you can search them. So I always tag my logo in there. So this is our Programa logo. And you can certainly lay that on top of anything.
Awesome. And can you fade an image? So can we adjust the opacity?
No.
I think we can.
What? You can?
Yeah, I think we should.
You learn something new every day. Would you like to tell me?
Yeah, I think it's the transparency tool and that top with crop. Okay.
Am I crazy?
The color. I might be making that
up. Gotcha. I don't know, watch this space. Maybe we can make images transparent, but I don't believe so.
All right. Is there an option for an image placeholder?
Oh, Zoe said opacity can be changed on shapes, not images. Aha! That's why, yeah. Think so. Sorry, were you asking me another question?
Yes, is there an option for an image placeholder?
In the page styles, yeah. I guess in a way you could do it. What I'd recommend is probably setting up, I'm gonna add a new page, grid styles, because that is how I would determine how many images you want on one page, which is essentially leaving a space for an image.
Perfect. All right, let's pull some more questions. Can we just walk through the export workflow for PDF again?
Yippers. Top right corner, export to PDF. Page sizes also you can choose. And if we do export as PDF, again, you can choose your paper size. These two toggles. Scene pins, you can decide whether you want your pins to show up or not. And then if you do choose the pins, it will email you a file for export. If you just export it directly from here, it should spit it out in a second, just in your downloads.
Perfect. And how do we rotate images?
It has a rotator on it. If you hover, see this little arrow, and then I can spin them wherever I want. I'm having way too much fun with this. Yep, so just click on the image and then hover in the corners that you want to rotate it, and this little arrow, here I am pointing at my screen, and you'll be able to click, and then I'm basically clicking down and rotating on my keypad at the same time is what I'm doing.
Wonderful.
Yes, or right click to flip, as Claire said. But that's not really rotating, that's just flipping it side by side.
And then just questions about pinning products into a presentation and sharing pricing on a presentation, just how that works and if you can control viewing pricing.
You can, yes. It works the same way as you would share your pricing in a schedule. So when you share this, so if we go back, I don't want to go too deep into this, but if we go back to the basics in your schedule where you are specifying everything from in your financial tab, this is where it's pulling all the pricing from. So you're inputting your cost here. If you're turning on your markup, it's generating that client price for you. So that's the same cost that's pulling into your presentation. But if I go back into my presentation, when I share this, you'll see in the permissions, so it will say partial access here, and you do still have to turn on pricing at the presentation level. So you can control what they see.
Awesome. And we've had a few questions about people who have joined in midway through. We're going to have a link to this recording after.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So you'll be able to get that link in an email and watch after for anything you might have missed.
100%. Yes.
And then we have just a question about the difference between a pinboard and a presentation.
Pinboards is our legacy concept tool. So that is used for just a generic mood board, I would say. I usually use it for the initial look and feel of the project. If I was you, I would get comfortable just starting to do everything on presentations because it's going to give you that ability to do a basic concept design with the same features that we love about pinboards, including the add to Pinterest. And eventually pinboards will be phased out. So like I said, I would probably use your presentations, but it doesn't have the same interactive capability with your schedule like the presentations do.
Perfect. And then can we show removing a background?
For sure. Just add in an image. So it'll pull in this way and we'll just click on it. And then it's the second button in beside the lock is the remove background. Voila. Super easy.
Amazing. And then, is there a pricing summary for the presentation?
Not in the same way that the schedule shows you. It's more so per product. So from a client view, you can see the costs. You can also hit edit product and you can see the pricing details from within the presentation if you want to edit anything from that, but it's not giving you that total cost.
All right, let's see if we can grab one more question for us.
Yes.
Anything that you guys are burning to ask, let us know, and we'll pop it in as one of our final questions.
Can we upload?
Can we leave notes on presentations while presenting that clients don't see?
No. It is. I'm trying to think of a way you could do that, but not particularly. I guess in terms of speaker notes, is that what they're thinking?
Mm-hmm.
My assumption? Yeah, not necessarily, but I do really like that idea. Maybe that's something that we could potentially look at adding, I guess, in terms of the speaker view.
And then one final question. How do we see client comments quickly and easily?
The quickest way to do it, we're just going to do a quick new product view, but if you haven't used Pulse before, definitely get in the habit of checking Pulse in the morning. This is going to automatically filter all those approved and rejected products within a glance, so you don't have to pop into every single project. So you can see here, review approved products for my presentations. And I can click that button and it's going to show me everything that's been approved that day. So it's super quick and easy. I don't have to go digging for anything.
Amazing. All right. Thanks so much, everyone, for your questions. Thanks so much, Lexi, for walking us through presentations.
Absolutely. No, it's been really fun. I'm glad that we got an extra long Q&A today because I think that there is a lot of great questions, and we love that you guys are so jazzed about the tool as much as we are. So again, happy to collect any feedback that you may have. If you do have any further questions, you can always find us in-app in the live chat center. So until next time, we have a great night, have a great day wherever you are in the world, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, bye, bye.
Thanks so much, everyone.